Max Lucado is a renowned Christian writer, but his books have reached beyond even the Christian community. His relatable storytelling has resonated with people of various faiths and even with those who are not religious at all. One of his works is Jesus, the God Who Knows Your Name. Now, in this book, Lucado focuses on various aspects of Jesus' character and his role in coming to earth. Even the title of the book is encouraging. How often do we feel small, forgotten, overlooked, or insignificant? We have a yearning to be seen, to be understood. How do you feel about a God who actually sees the real you and understands what you are going through? Does this change your perspective? I know it makes me feel like I'm not alone. Instead of embracing this truth, however, we can be bogged down with self-criticism, failures, and we struggle to make headway in our lives. We can face situations where getting out of the fix we are in seems well nigh impossible. And we forget that we have a generous God. Lucado says, "You may be out of options, but according to the Bible, you are never out of hope." Lucado states, "The story of Jesus begins with the story of a great descent." And that's not the kind of descent you're perhaps thinking of. He says it was an ordinary night with ordinary sheep and ordinary shepherds. And were it not for a God who loves to hook an extra on the front of the ordinary, the night would have gone unnoticed. But God dances amid the common, and that night he did a waltz. Lucado goes on to describe Jesus' humble beginnings in our world, where he looked anything but a king. Divinity entering the world on the floor of a stable, through the womb of a teenager, and in the presence of a carpenter. Jesus became human so he could understand human struggles and offer help. We can look to him for guidance and wisdom in all areas of life. And we need not be solemn and heavy, because Jesus offers joy and abundance to those who follow him. And he truly does know who we are. We are not just a number or a statistic. Lucado points out that Jesus is an approachable person, not distant or unrelatable. He is someone who engaged with people from all walks of life. And he illustrates this by describing Jesus attending parties, interacting with outcasts, and showing compassion. By becoming human, Jesus experienced the full range of human emotions and difficulties, including weariness, anger, sorrow, and even the fear of death. This allows him to empathize with and relate to our struggles, and we sure have plenty of those. We are imperfect, but God has high plans for us. He provided a way for us to have our relationship with him restored. The sacrifice of Jesus was a complete payment for humanity's sins. Jesus' substitutionary atonement aligns with the high priest's role, where sacrifices were offered for people's sins. Lucado aptly says, "He did it for you, just for you," emphasizing the personal nature of Jesus' sacrifice. He also provides the analogy of a restaurant host, giving a customer his own coat to wear, symbolizing how Jesus gives his righteousness to those who believe in him. This act of sacrifice enables people to enter God's presence, clothed in the righteousness of Christ. Through Jesus, we now have access to God and can approach him confidently because Jesus bridged the gap for us. Lucado places significant emphasis on the return of Jesus, an event that will be a pivotal moment in history where Jesus will return to establish his kingdom and reign over all creation. When Jesus is enthroned as king, this will be the culmination of God's plan for us. Every knee will bow before him, and all will ultimately acknowledge Jesus as Lord. Lucado uses the return of Jesus to encourage believers to live with hope and anticipation. He states that heaven should be the focus of our hearts and minds, and that we should constantly strive to live in a way that pleases God. He sees the great day of Jesus' return as a source of comfort and encouragement, particularly during times of suffering or difficulty. By focusing on the promise of Jesus' return, believers can find strength and persevere through the challenges of this life. Lucado encourages us to simplify our lives by focusing on God's forgiveness and the hope of heaven. So if you have a chance to read this book about Jesus, you will find chapters that make you smile and chapters that strike a chord as the writer shows situations in a modern setting. Lucado's writing is relatable and full of hope, and the book ends with questions for reflection prepared by Lucado's daughter, Andrea Lucado. So this makes the book really useful for personal Bible study. But why not discuss this book in a group setting? Below in the notes you'll find a few group discussion questions to get you going. To sum up, in a world often filled with noise and chaos, Max Lucado's words offer a quiet, comforting reminder of a God who sees us, knows us, and loves us deeply. His book, Jesus, the God Who Knows Your Name, is a testament to this truth. By delving into the life and teachings of Jesus, Lucado invites us to experience a personal connection with the divine. And as we journey through life's joys and challenges, let's hold on to the hope that Jesus offers. He is not just a distant figure in history. He is a friend who walks with us every step of the way. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Faithful Reflections. Please like and subscribe for future episodes, and if you did enjoy it, share it with your friends.